Hello students, now we are going to discussing about the ICH guidelines. Here ICH means International Council for Harmonization. Next we will see the definition of this ICH. Here ICH is a joint initiative. This is going to involving both regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical industry as a equal partners in the scientific and technical discussions of the testing procedures which are required to ensure and assess the safety, quality and efficacy of medicines, SQE of the medicines. That means normally this ICH, it is going to taking decisions regarding the testing procedures that are required to ensure the safety, quality and efficacy of the medicine. For doing this testing procedure, for taking the decisions regarding this testing procedures, this ICH is going to involving both regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical industries. These three, like ICH, regulatory authorities and pharmaceutical industry, these three are going to involving for taking decisions regarding the testing procedures. This testing procedures are required to safety, quality and efficacy of the medicines. Next we will see the content of this ICH guidelines. First it contains a glossary. Here glossary means the list of difficult words and their meanings which are containing in our ICH guidelines. Next we have the principles of ICH GCP. Here GCP means good clinical practices. In ICH guidelines, normally for conducting the clinical trials, we have 13 important principles are going to involving in our ICH GCP. I will discuss about later. Next, this ICH guidelines contains this about the IRB or IEC. Here IRB means Investigational Review Board. IEC means Institutional Ethics Committee. Both are same. IRB and IEC is both are same. This Investigational Review Board is going to reviewing about the clinical trials. That Investigational Review Board, what are the responsibilities, the composition of IRB and functions and operations and records that are going to keeping this IRBs will be included in our ICH guidelines. Next, it also contains the list of responsibilities of investigator and sponsor. Not only that, this ICH guidelines are going to containing about the protocol. Here protocol means a document that going to describing how a clinical trial will be conducted. Next, not only that, we are going to this ICH guideline going to containing the investigator brochure. Here investigator brochure means it contains the clinical and non-clinical data of a investigational product. At last, this ICH GCP guidelines is containing the essential document. That means this contains the type of essential documents that required before the trial, during the trial and after completion or the termination of the trial. What are all the documents needed? The list of documents will be included in our ICH guidelines content. Okay, next we will see the principles of ICH GCP guidelines. The first point is clinical trials should be conducted in accordance with the ethical principles and that are consisting of GCP and are applicable regulatory requirement. That means ethical principles are framed by this regulatory authorities. Our clinical trials is going to conducting according to this ethical principles that are going to framed by our regulatory authorities. Normally this also contains this consisting of this good clinical practice principles and all other applicable regulatory requirements. According to this about this ethical principle, they will base the ethical principles and good clinical practices and they are going to applicable this regulatory requirements before conducting this a clinical trial. Next one is, second point is, before the trial is initiated, the risk should be measured against the anticipated benefits. Here they are going to check the risks and benefits of the study. If the benefits are more than the risk, they will start the clinical trials. Otherwise, if the risks are more than the benefits, they won't start the clinical trial. See here, the trial should be initiated and continued only if the anticipated benefits justify the risk. That means risk should be less and benefits should be more. Then only they will going to start this clinical trials. The third one is the rights, safety and well-being of the trial subjects are most important consideration. Here in the total clinical trial studies, mainly they will give the importance to the trial subject safety and well-being. Okay, next we will see the fourth point is the available non-clinical and clinical information on an investigational product should be supported the proposed clinical trial. That means what and all data we are collecting in the preclinical trials, the non-clinical and clinical data we are going to collecting about the investigational product in the preclinical trials, that should be supported our present clinical trials. The fifth point is clinical trials should be scientifically sound and described in a clear detailed protocol. If the preclinical data is supported, then the ICH guidelines, the committee is going to preparing a protocol. This protocol contains the detailed information about the study, that means clinical trials, how we are going to doing the trial, that full information is going to including in our protocol. Next Next, a trial should be conducted with compliance with the protocol that has received period IRB or IEC approval. That means the protocol which are going to preparing to conduct a clinical trial, that protocol should get approval from this IRB, Investigational Review Board, or Institutional Ethics Committee. After approving the protocol only, we are going to starting our clinical trial. Next, the trial should be conducted by a qualified medical practitioner or a dentist. Who is going to doing this trial means the qualified medical practitioner or the dentist is going to doing or conducting a clinical trial. This qualified medical practitioner or dentist also called as a investigator, who is going to conducting or who is going to investigating the trial. The person is calling like investigator. Next, each individual involved in conducting a trial should be qualified by education, training and experience. That means the persons who is going to involving or conducting a trial, like the list of persons are there who are going to conducting a trial, like sponsor, investigator, institutional review board, monitor, clinical research associate or clinical research coordinator, auditors, regulatory authorities. These are the persons going to involving in conducting a clinical trial. In that, mainly the investigator is main person, he or she only going to conducting the clinical trial. That person should be qualified by the education, training and experience by conducting a clinical trial. Next one is, ninth point is, freely given informed consent should be obtained from every subject period to clinical trial participation. That means here what is mean by the informed consent? Informed consent means it is a process of investigation, and they are going to this is the process that investigator will explain to the subjects about the risks, benefits and alternatives about the clinical trial procedure. In whole clinical trial, what and all risks will be there and what are the benefits will be there to the subjects, they are going to explaining to the subjects. After explaining, they will take a sign from the subjects, because their acceptancy, they are taking the acceptancy of the subject by the signing on a informed consent. This informed consent contains all the risks and benefits that is going to involve in our clinical trial. Next one is, 10th point is, all clinical trial information should be recorded, handled and stored in a way that allows it accurate reporting, interpretation and verification. That means for reporting or for interpreting the results, for verification about the clinical trial, the information, the whole information of the clinical trial should be recorded, should be handled and should be stored properly. For whenever the regulatory authorities will come and ask about the clinical trial information, then we want to produce all the reported data or recorded data to them. Next one is the 11th point is the confidentiality of records that could identify the subject should be protected. That means identifying the subjects means the subject, what are the name, age and what are the address and the information about the subject that should be protected from the other people. That's why you should keep all the reports or the records of the clinical trial confidentially. We should not show to the other persons other than the clinical trial subjects or clinical trial conductors. We should not show to the other person. They always want to keep the subject's identity as a confidentially. Next, the 12th point is investigational product should be manufactured, handled and stored in accordance with the applicable GMP. Here GMP means good manufacturing practices. What and all investigational products we are going to using on the trial subject, that should be manufactured, handled and stored with the principles of the GMP, good manufacturing practices. Next one is the last point, 13th point is systems with procedures that assure the quality of every aspects of the trial should be implemented. That means here there will be a lot of procedures is there for doing the clinical trials. In every procedure they want to maintain a quality in the every procedure of a clinical trial. These are the 13 main principles of the ICH GCP guidelines. Okay, now we will see what is mean by a GCP, that means good clinical practice. Here GCP is defined as a standard for the design, conduct, performance, monitoring, auditing, recording, analysis and reporting of a clinical trial. That means GCP contains all standards how to conduct a clinical trials from starting to ending. Next, the GCP guidelines, it should provide assurance that the data and reported results are credible and accurate. What and all data we are providing about the clinical trials, that should be believed and that should be correct for the regulatory authorities. Next, the rights and confidentiality of the trial subjects are protected. In ICH guidelines, in GCP guidelines, wherever we can protect this rights and confidentiality of the trial subjects. Next, in this GCP guideline, we have that 13 principles of the ICH GCP also going to involved in our GCP. While writing the GCP, we should write other 13 principles of this ICH and GCP. Okay, now we discussed about what is mean by the ICH guidelines, what is mean by the GCP guidelines and what are the content involved in the ICH guidelines. Next, we discussed about what are the 13 important principles of the ICH and GCP. Next, about this IRB and IEC, responsibility of investigator, responsibility of the sponsor, this protocol and investigator brochure. These topics will be going to included in our next topics of the clinical research. While studying that topic, we will study about these topics in detail. Thank you.